4:44 a.m. in the morning. This probably happened I'd say about 12 minutes ago. Oh my goodness. That was an interesting experience and was not expected. I had gone, I guess it's been about a week since my last experience. This, by the way, was a beyond body experience, undoubtedly the beyond body experience. And let me get immediately into it here. So I got up to go into the restroom. It is the middle of the night. Remember, I told you that many of my experiences happen about this time. And it's so true. If I laid down after going to the restroom and I just kind of laid there and relaxed. And my goodness, it just kind of came on me, you know. I could feel it coming, but this was very smooth. I didn't feel myself being catapulted through space as I normally would, or being pushed really fast. This was a very, very smooth transition, a lot smoother than I would have suspected. They did not really, I don't know, they didn't shoot me out of a cannon, I guess. And the progression kept going and kept going and kept going. I went quite a distance, And at some point, of course, as always, the darkness begins to lift. Now, this was interesting. Once I had arrived at my destination, I want to tell you, I felt myself roll out of bed and to the ground. And it was funny, I laughed at it because, again, for those of you who know and have followed my channel, you know that I walk with a cane, and my right leg, I can't really bend it. And of course, in the beyond body, I have no issues. My leg is fine and I can walk around. So when I landed on my feet, when I rolled out of bed and I landed on my feet, and I could feel a force kind of push me out. So I landed. I always giggle a little bit. Now, it was funny because I still felt like I was in my apartment. Again, strangely enough, I still felt like I was in my apartment. Now, I knew I had gone to another destination. I knew that I had traveled. There was no doubt about that. But I still felt like I was in my apartment. I actually even went to my patio and I pushed against the window, and I'm like, okay, I'm obviously not out of my body, because when I pushed, my hand wouldn't go through the window. I couldn't push my hand through the window. It was solid. So I was definitely in a body of some sort. I was solid. And so then I turned from my patio, and as I turned, I saw a bed, and there were people underneath that bed. 2 people. It was a big bed. It might have been a couple, I'm not sure. The sheet was over their head, at least from what I could see. Now, the sheet itself, or the blanket, seemed to be almost like there was a pattern on it. Maybe roses? Couldn't have been roses, though. I have to tell you guys, it was dark, so I couldn't see everything. And so I couldn't make out all the patterns of anything. There was darkness there, so it was night like it is here. Sometimes I want to tell you that when I get to these destinations, it's a different time. So if I go and it's dark here, it could be day in whatever reality I arrive in. And the opposite, if it's daytime here, it could be nighttime there, but it was definitely night. And this couple, I'll assume that they were a couple. They were laying down, and now normally I might have tried reaching up and looking under the blanket or trying to see, but I didn't this time, because I just wanted to study what was going on. I wanted to try and institute some of the things I've been talking to you guys about: being quiet, not trying to think too much, just taking in and observing to see what I could see. And that is what I did. Now, I saw those people and I immediately went out of the room. The door was open. As I went out of the room, there was a couch and there was someone else sleeping on the couch. Again, the blanket was over their head. Now, I can't describe the apartment or the house that I was in. Now I'm going to assume that it was a house. Because again, it was interesting. At first I thought I was in my apartment, just so you follow me. When I had come out of this travel or whatever, then suddenly when I turned, I was in a house of some sort. Now, I don't know why this was, but whatever. I saw people in a bed. They were sleeping. I went to outside of the room, into the living room. There was another person. I could see their feet. I think they had their socks on, and their legs were overhanging the arm of the couch. I still couldn't see their face though, and they were obviously sleeping as well. The door was to my left, so I went and I opened the door and I walked out. So I walked out, and this place was, I would have to say, very similar to our world. I don't think I was very far away. And you know what? Maybe I shouldn't say that I wasn't very far away. Because I don't know how far I was, but as far as I could see, things looked similar. I got a glimpse of a few cars as I came out. Couldn't tell you what the brands were, but they were the same kinds of cars. You know, it might have been, and now that I'm sitting and I'm thinking about it, gosh, you know, thinking about it now, it might have been that the cars weren't so up to date as they are now. I'd say maybe 30 years ago, you know, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. Thinking about it right now, I just remember going outside. There was another house that was next to ours, and there was a small light in a garage area. It looked like someone had been working on a car or was working on a car at the moment when I walked out. Now, as I was looking around and I was just exploring, I was like, this is interesting. So I'm looking around, and again, I'm in a neighborhood of some sort. There's grass, and there are cars parked on the street kind of far down a little bit as I'm walking, that kind of thing. And as I'm walking out, I hear a voice say, "Oh, there's one of them right there." And I stopped and I'm like, I wonder, is he talking about me? Now, I believe this got a little hostile, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what their intent was, and I don't want to assume that they were being hostile towards me. These two little boys came out, and this is going to sound weird to you. One of them had a wrench, and I remember it was a wrench as they came out, and they looked like they weren't happy with me for some reason. They looked actually like as if they were kind of upset with me. One took a wrench, and I think he tried to hit me with it. Now, this is the first time I've had anything like this happen. And when he tried to do it, at first I was thinking, okay, I'm going to actually I thought, okay, I'm going to get out of here because I don't know what this is. But it was funny because when I tried to think my way out of it, again, this is so interesting. This isn't the astral plane. So in the astral plane, my natural reaction is to think, okay, I'm back, or think myself someplace else, and I'm gone. That did not happen this time. In fact, it's interesting because this time I was maintaining my breath, and I was breathing and breathing and breathing. And it made it so that I was very solidly in this world. It didn't feel as if I could just move and just go somewhere. Again, my last episode, I talked about the differences between the astral plane and the beyond body. This is one of the differences. If I think to myself, I want to go somewhere, I want to be somewhere, it does not just simply happen immediately. It's almost like I have to break the link to whatever I am, wherever I am. And I was maintaining that link comfortably. I was breathing comfortably. And it did not appear that I was supposed to leave at that moment. I grabbed the wrench from the kid who he was yelling at me. I don't know why. He seemed like he might have been upset. I'm not sure. I was okay. After a moment of being a little frightened, like, what's this? What are these two kids doing? I took the wrench and, dude, I don't know how I did this. I have no idea, but I bent the wrench, like bent it like it was nothing, which would be impossible because I think those things are made of steel. I bent it and then I tossed it to the ground. I also remember I backed away from the kids after this, and I think they backed away from me and they left me alone. After I had bent that wrench, bent it as if it was made out of, oh my gosh, I don't know, as if it was made out of rubber or something. I don't know. It was weird. It just bent and I was able to throw it. I walked away and I continued to kind of take a look around. Well, within moments of doing that, I was back. I was back. Oh, what an interesting experience. And I always have to be honest with you. I guess not all experiences are going to be super, super positive in different worlds. There's going to be some interesting things that are going to happen. I'm always protected. So I even though I felt in a moment, I felt a little bit threatened by them. They were little kids. Now, I don't even know if in this reality I was a little kid too. It's possible that I was. I don't know why I was able to bend that, because here it would be impossible. It would mean that my strength was unbelievable. How would I be able to bend something like that? I don't know. However, in this reality, it was possible. Anyway, that was my experience. And this went a little longer than I thought it would. But heck, I wanted to give you guys the experience in full. And to offer you guys a tip real quick before I end this, because I said I was going to offer you guys a tip during this time. Breathe. I'm going to tell you right now, breathe, because that helps so much. Breathe and maintain. If you breathe, you will be able to maintain yourself wherever you are. And it won't be suddenly cut off, or your experience will not end. All right? Thank you so much for coming on another journey with me. And until next time, take care.